first cross coat. Don't worry too much about the color. You can see it's evenly dispersed. It's a wet film, if you can catch this. You can see the closed film on top of the primer. The film is closed, which is a coat of paint. It's collapsing and it's nice and even spread. The second cross coat will get you into the shade, and then if need be, we'll do a little scatter coat. But usually, if it's as even as this, it's not needed. If you like to scatter coat by lifestyle, then there is no issues with that. So we've got the first cross coat down, typically 2 or 3 coats, remember that. A rule of thumb tack time with this was any paint materials really, is not on the paint of course, but adjacent to that, is stroke of the finish. If it's sticky but literally no transfer, I mean there's nothing on there, it's ready to be overcoated.
The orientation looks very good actually, but for reference, if you want to do a scatter coat, this is how I do it. Whatever air pressure you're using for the application, I actually turn this down. You can hear it. Turn the air down. And I do a random crosshatch at distance. And what this particularly does, this technique, is to put droplets down, filling in where it needs to be filled in.
So as you can see with the application, we put 2 cross coats on, 2 guns, same color. 2 closed film coats. We did scatter this just to show you what we do is further back, drop the pressure, making sure them droplets just fill in if it needs filling in. We use a sun gun now in the spray booth like this, perfect lighting. Not really necessary, do not use a flashlight, it's blinding. If you have one of these, use a sun gun. The idea with a sun gun is to track across the film and surface, seeing if there's any tigers or imperfections. As you can see here, I hope you're picking this up, the orientation, the density, the film, surface integrity and the profile are all absolutely perfect. Let's move on to the cheap side. Again, we've got all the elements we need. We have a closed film. We did a scatter coat, of course, to showcase what we're doing. Same principle on any gun. Drop the pressure, have the distance so the droplets fill in. As you can see with a sun gun, again, we're looking for even layer of paint. It's collapsed nicely on the primer because there's 2 things here. One is the primer was in the applied condition, which is flat in profile. So the base coat topography follows the process that it's on. The base coat itself, it collapses nice, it flows out, it levels. So in combination of a good application of primer and a mindful application of the base clear, you can see you get a nice, in this case, gold finish. You may have also observed that this is over gray. This is the 2-stage with the ground. This is not the tri-stage that has to have a parent color. This can be gray on the gold in this case. We're going to move on with a blue, identical system, showcase with a sun gun afterwards. So let's do a final review on the first colors that we did. That was a pearl, mica, it's the same thing. This blue is a metallic blue. You can see that we used the identical application. It was on a common gray background, a singular color, always an advantage for effect coatings, makes them extremely repairable. Orientation, 2 cross coats, of course. We did put a scatter coat on here because majority of the time, I think majority of folks out there, they pull back and just relax the coating and make sure that it orientates. So we showed you how to do that. Now, as far as the equipment goes, I'm not proposing at all that you go down to the budget selection. The professional high-end guns, of course, they're a joy to use, fully adjustable, very reliable, good longevity. So I would encourage, depending on where you are in the paint side of the world, is if you are a professional, you always go to the professional type of gun, always choose the most appropriate or the gun that you can afford. And do look after these. Cleaning and adjustment are essential. But it does show the scope of this material, particularly for the home builders, that with a budget gun, it can be achieved. It's just not as easy.